If you're from an ordinary working-class family, life is much harder than many people in Westminster realise. You have a job, but you don't always have job security. You have your own home, but you worry about paying the mortgage. You can just about manage, but you worry about the cost of living and getting your kids into a good school. If you're one of those families, if you're just managing, I want to address you directly. I know you're working around the clock. I know you're doing your best, and I know that sometimes life can be a struggle. The government I lead will be driven not by the interests of the privileged few, but by yours.
Theresa May has defended the extension of the government's flagship welfare reform amid concerns even from her own backbenchers. The Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, says universal credit, which merges 6 working age benefits into one single payment, is driving up debt, poverty and homelessness.
The rollout of universal credit is already causing debt, poverty and homelessness. Does the Prime Minister accept it would be irresponsible to press on regardless?
Our social affairs correspondent Michael Buchanan has met one young woman who's had to sell virtually all her possessions, as 8 months after first claiming the credit, she's still not received a penny.
These people are suffering and we shouldn't be having that. So people like us need to voice, stand up for everybody and stop it.
Last week, I asked the Prime Minister to scrap the unfair charges on the Universal Credit Helpline. Yeah. Today, she's finally bowed to that pressure. But the fundamental problems of universal credit remain. Yeah. The 6-week wait, rising indebtedness, rent arrears and evictions. Will the Prime Minister now pause universal credit and fix the problems before pressing ahead with the rollout?
Prime Minister.
Yes, it is absolutely right. But listen to the sentence. I suggest to honourable members opposite that they listen to the whole sentence that I was going to make. Yes, it is absolutely right that we have announced this morning that we are going to change in relation to the telephone charge. But the right honourable gentleman talks about universal credit and talks about pausing universal credit. Why have we introduced universal credit? It's a simpler system. It's a system that encourages people to get into the workplace. It is a system that is working because more people are getting into work. And pausing universal credit won't help those people who will be helped by going to universal credit, getting into the workplace and bringing home more pay for their families.
Mr. Speaker, I wonder which planet the Prime Minister's on. Mr. Speaker, the Citizens Advice Bureau describes universal credit as, and I quote, a disaster waiting to happen. Based on assisting tens of thousands of claimants with debt, they've made that conclusion. Housing associations report an increase of up to 50% in eviction of tenants with rent arrears due to universal credit. Can't the Prime Minister and the DWP wake up to reality and halt this process?
If you're just managing, I want to address you directly. I know you're working around the clock. I know you're doing your best, and I know that sometimes life can be a struggle.